Hey guys, Jimmy Vercellino, Marine Corps veteran, mortgage loan originator specializing in VA loans, and today I'm discussing VA loans and income qualifying. I feel like I get a lot of questions from my veteran viewership that wants to know, hey, what documentation should I be providing to you as the mortgage loan originator, or how long do I have to be on the job, right? How does it work if I receive this kind of income? Today, I'll shed some light on that, so when the time comes for you to be able to put rounds down range, utilizing your VA home loan benefit, you'll know exactly what to expect, right? You'll be able to build and create wealth through the acquisition of real estate utilizing your VA loan. Good to go? If you are a veteran and you want to be able to utilize a VA home loan and you're an hourly employee, it's quite simple. What we as mortgage loan originators do is we take your income, right? So let's just say your hourly wage is, I don't know, 20 bucks an hour. What we do is we take that number and we multiply it by 2,080, okay? And again, this is just an example for you to take into consideration, but I take that number, I multiply it by 2,080, and ultimately what ends up happening is, hold on a second here, so we take that number and we multiply it by 2,080, it equates to roughly $41,600 a year. We take that number, we divide it by 12, and guess what happens next, right? We use that for your monthly income calculation. As long as you're guaranteed 40 hours a week, we'll use that to qualify you. Translates to is approximately $3,466 a month. So in that particular instance, if a veteran was earning $20 an hour, I almost said a month, $20 an hour, we take that number, multiply it by 2,080, and that's how we arrive at the veteran's monthly income. Now, if the veteran has additional income, for example, if they're married, they have a spouse, right? You can add the spouse's income and we'll approach the income calculation the same exact way we just did here, right? Using that hourly wage to qualify the veteran spouse as well. Keeping in mind that if a veteran, non-veteran that are married want to combine their finances to qualify for a mortgage, absolutely acceptable. There's some other things that veterans need to take into consideration as you get ready to explore your VA home loan benefits. So the first is your VA disability income. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? Veterans that are service connected, anywhere from 10% to 100%, will be able to use their VA service connected disability to qualify for a mortgage loan moving forward into the future. So what we as the mortgage originator are going to do, we're going to take a copy of your VA disability award letter, right? And so let's just say that it's $3,000 a month. We're going to use that income to qualify you. Pretty straightforward, right? But here's the thing that I want you to know and understand. That income, as you're aware, is non-taxable. So if I were qualifying for a mortgage loan and my income was taxable, in other words, I could use my gross monthly income to qualify, well then how is it fair to my veterans, right, that are service connected, that are using their net income to qualify? It's not, right? So what we do as mortgage lenders is we do something called grossing up the non-taxable income. And so you can gross this up by 25%. And in this particular example, what would happen is the income would go from $3,000 a month net, $3,750. My writing is terrible, you guys, but I still think that you get the point. So $3,750 a month would be the grossed up portion of the VA non-taxable service connected income, right? Same thing would apply with Social Security income, CRSC income. As long as it's non-taxable, we as the veteran can gross it up, we as the mortgage loan originators can gross it up according to your tax bracket. There's some other things that I want you to be aware of, mainly the following, okay? I'm running out of room here. Actually, let me just go ahead and pull up the slide. What I want you to be aware of is there's other types of income. So for example, like overtime, right? We all occasionally will work overtime, maybe some of us more than others. Maybe there's bonus income. Maybe there's part-time income, or maybe there's even commission-based income. So if you receive any of these forms of income in conjunction with your VA loan, the first thing that I want you to be aware of is this, right? You have to have a 2-year history of receiving that income. You tracking? You following me along on that? Income has to be averaged out over a 2-year period. Bringing you into my arena for a second here to make sure that you understand how mortgage originators or mortgage lenders will look to pre-qualify you when you're getting ready to use your VA loan. By the way, if you have questions on this stuff, drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to get it answered for you, all right? Overtime, bonus, part-time, commission, 2-year history of receiving this particular type of income. Now, let's just say, for example, that it was roughly $1,000 a month. That's not 1,000, that's $1,000 a month, right? For the year 2023. And let's say that it was $1,000 a month. We're keeping things KISS here for the year 2024. So if I took that number, it was essentially 12,000. Hopefully you're following me along on this. 12,000 in 2023, 12,000 in 2024. Add those together, right? 24 months would be $24,000. Divide that number by 24. It comes out to, you ready for this? Even Marines could figure this out, right guys? $1,000 a month that we would use to qualify you for that income. Same thing with self-employed income. You have to have a 2-year average of receiving this income in order to qualify. Good to go? Now, you take that 2-year average, and here's where things get a little bit even more kind of interesting. You take that 2-year average and your year-to-date income has to be in line with the average that we're using over that 2-year period. You following me along on that? So if for some reason your income, let's just fast forward for a second to 2025, let's say that your income was not $1,000 a month in any of these particular overtime, bonus, part-time, commission, we would need to be able to document why that is. Why is the veteran's income trending lower? And as long as you have a legitimate explanation for that, we should be good to go. Good to go? Now, here's a question that I get from a lot of veterans. How long do I have to be on the job? Here's an answer that might surprise you. You don't even have to be on the job. In other words, we can use a hire letter to qualify you as long as you start that employment within 60 days of the closing on your new home. You have to have the hire letter. You have to be able to show that the hire letter, does not have any what's referred to as contingencies. So the background checks, drug screenings, these types of things all have to be checked out so that way you can start your job on the respective date that's listed on your hire letter. So here's the deal. If you're an active duty service member, we're always going to ask you for a copy of your LES, your leave and earnings statement. We're gonna be looking for a couple of different things. Number one, we're gonna be looking for your base pay, pretty obvious, right? In addition to that, we'll use your BAS to qualify you. And lastly, your BAH, basic allowance for housing. These are obviously important pieces of the transaction to ensure that we're using or giving you credit for all of the monthly income that you earn, both salary and your non-taxable income, BAS and BAH. Good to go? Now, so hopefully you'll kind of understand a little bit more about VA income, qualifying for a VA loan. What are we going to need by way of documentation to show all of this? We're gonna need your most recent pay stubs for the last 30 days, okay? Oftentimes we'll need 2 years of tax returns if you're a self-employed business owner for any reason. We'll need year-to-date profit and loss statements. Generally speaking, we'll also need a copy of your VA Service-Connected Disability Award Letter, any 1099s or W-2s that you might receive, your Social Security Award Letter. It'll just kind of depend upon each individual veteran's scenario, but I think that this is a good idea and kind of a good general overview of what you can expect by way of VA income and qualifying moving forward. I hope you found this information to be of value. We'll talk to you soon.